Good morning, trading world. Today is April 29th, 2020, and this is the morning pre-market outlook. And I thought about calling Audible this morning because we had some news come out that really took us way out of the expected range. Um, the market is just so whimsical right now, looking to grasp anything. But some news came out. I think it's Gilead, remdesivir, whatever the drug is, that had some positive news on treating the coronavirus. Um, when that came up, it really, really jumped the market up. So, um, instead of me calling an audible, I'm going to introduce another chart, which is what I trade my futures with. And it kind of gives me clarity, even on a day like yesterday where it just kind of boom, it just busted through zones and just seemed like it didn't want to stop. This chart kind of gives me a little more clarity when it comes to the game plan and what I'm trying to do. But I'll go ahead and go over the reaction levels right now. And we're going to start with the resistance reaction levels. Jack level is 8807. Queen level is 8827. King level is 8883. The levels that are pertinent in between that, we have 8818, which is right about here. Then 8843, which is right about here. And then 8868, which is up here. And then the last level that I have today is going to be 8942, which it seems we are headed towards today, which is actually off the charts. It's up here. If I can, right about here, 8942. Coming back down to the Jack support, it's 8763. Queen support is 8722. King support is 8689. Levels of pertinence in between, I have one up here at 8777. Then we come down to 8736, which is right about here. Then 8678, which is all the way down here. And then way down here, I have 8635, which is right about here. Now, I came into the morning thinking this morning would be very quiet, with a lot of volatility this evening. I came in thinking that we were just going to kind of float up slowly until the Fed news came out, and then that's when all the volatility would kick off. But we got a little extra bit about of volatility. So one of the things that I use, or the actual chart that I do my intraday trading from, I'm going to try to bring that over if I can grab it. Okay. This is the chart which I really trade my futures or intraday trades with. As you can see, I have the Jack, Queen, King support levels. I don't know if you can, it's really hard to see it here, but I have the Jack, Queen, and King support levels. but there are other levels uh, located on here for reference, and a lot of times it's too many to name. But these red dash lines of significant importance, and those are definitely where I look for a lot of reaction levels. Um, and trades are sometimes solely based off of those levels. Um, Sometimes the reason that I do the Jack Queen King reaction levels is that sometimes we're in between these levels, and I need to find somewhere of importance to jump in on a pullback headed to one of these levels, or a pullback when it's coming from one of these levels and we're in the middle. So this is really where a trade may start on these red dash levels that I have on the chart here. And recently, or ever since this volatility kicked in, um, you can get dash to dash trades seemingly every day. But before the volatility kicked off, a lot of times it was very hard to get a dash to dash trade, much less make trades around the dash. So you have to have those reference levels in between. But with volatility and historical vol at the highs that they are, it has been no problem to go dash to dash these days. So, what I'm expecting on the Fed news, since we're already up here, we're probably going to get a test of this 89.42 level. And if you didn't realize, the last level that I gave you when I listed the King, Queen, Queen, Jack, Queen, King levels on the resistance side was 89.42. And that's this level up here. I wouldn't be surprised if we get all the way up there. And in the last couple videos, I was trying to kind of prepare everybody that before we have a move down, we're probably going to get a decent pop up. And today's going to be the day that we get that pop up. We probably get that pop up. Usually, everything is going to happen this evening pretty fast during the FOMC meeting. If you're trying to put on option positions, if you don't have them in queue, it moves so fast that you probably won't be able to get them in. But hopefully, this could play out a couple ways. We get a quick pop up here, and then zoom, and we're headed down. Or we get a quick pop up here, and somehow it busts through this level, and we get some type of sustained activity above this level for a bit. That'll kind of see us get some type of rounded off reversal before we come back down. Or, we could just shoot to the moon. Once we burst through that level, the next couple days, we're still steady drift and drift and drift further up until we get to the next or close to the next major level. So those are the different outcomes that can happen. At some point in time, I'm going to try to get some more. I've taken a lot of the option positions I've had off, and I'm hoping to get some back on. Hopefully, closer to this, in this range up here, between this I guess you could say 8,900 to 8,942, somewhere in that area. Uh, Even just above this dash right here, this 8883, above that area would be good if I don't get the chance to. But this is normally where I trade from. Um, this is where moves are pretty much based from. So even on a day like yesterday, let me go back and kind of show you. I had, even though I used up a couple of bullets yesterday, when I sat back and looked at it, because I was actually trying to get more option positions off, and I ended up letting uh, what I had stay on, because once I looked back and realized that this chart that we hit pretty much hit our head up against this 89.42 and failed, and it was game over from that point. Once we hit the 89.42 and bam, we just bust through every level, headed down, just straight through the floor. So at some point in time, and as you can see, there's another red dash level that stopped us right there. So I'm pretty much looking for a similar outcome to happen once we get the FOMC news. We're going to max out somewhere up here, and then the floor is going to be weak, and we're going to crash through several floors. So that's pretty much what I'm looking for today. And that's just kind of give you a look behind the scenes of what I actually do as far as the intraday trading. And if you didn't know, that was a ninja chart. This over here is Thinkorswim, is pretty much where I do all my option plays, or most of my option plays. That's it. That's pretty much today and what I'm looking forward to. Again, just like yesterday, we have a lot of signs, a lot of bullish signs. And I'll kind of speak to that because it's happened quite a few times lately. Yesterday kind of caught me by surprise. But earlier last week, we've had a couple days where we've had bullish signs. Like I've had where the short-term, intermediate, and kind of long-term trend was bullish all at the same time, and everything is screaming go long, but there was just something in the charts that told me don't go for it. And those were days that I got short and very good trades. Today is pretty much the same thing. Like I said, yesterday kind of caught me by surprise, but today I'm feeling pretty much the same way. A lot of bullish signals, but something just screaming beneath the price action. Don't go for it. So that's pretty much where I am. And one of the reasons to kind of explain something like that is, especially when we get to these all important levels that everyone sees, is that liquidity levels have been so low and volume has been so low that when you get to a level like this and the big guys, the hedge funds, the money managers, when they start taking profits and closing out these long positions, there's no bid behind it to kind of save it or keep it at that level. So once they start closing out those positions, we pretty much fall because there's no bid, no volume behind those behind that activity to kind of help us stay in place. So when they take those profits, and a lot of big guys do that at the same time, with the amount of volume or activity that's here, there's nothing here to kind of save us, and that's why we get these drops like we do. Just the elevator just loses it. So that's my explanation of it. That's kind of what I'm reading through the volume and charts. So even though we're getting all these bullish signals, there's not a lot of volume, there's not a lot of liquidity. So when the big guys make moves, it's all she wrote. We could drop very fast. And that's going to be something that I'm looking at um, to get violent um, this violent bout of volatility started again is an action like that. Like we got that action yesterday, but thankfully there was no sell activity to follow through with it. To me, that was just taking profits and closing positions, and there was no bid behind it to stop it. We're probably going to get another bout of activity like that, but at some point there's going to be some sales following in behind it, where that you don't get this, slow bid back up. You're just going to keep falling because sales are going to keep pushing it lower and lower. So that's pretty much what I'm looking for. And I'm going to cut it off here. That's my time for the morning. Again, be safe. Please have your risk defined because we are about to rock and roll at some point. We're going to see a lot of movement. So please be safe. Please have your risk defined. Wishing you profitable trading. Have a great day.